and says we can hit each other, and if we get hurt, it's our fault. Yeah. All right. So this is Jeremiah and Ryan.
Hey, Jeremiah.
So what we're going to do is a 2 versus 1. Because a lot of times in Hero, when you see heroes in comics or films, they're fighting more than one person. One person is hard enough. 2 is really hard. So we'll see how this goes. And just to let you know, this is not choreographed. We didn't get together earlier and say, you know, like, oh, you throw a hook and then a punch, or you throw a jab and then a cross. This is all just whatever happens, happens, right? So I guess in this scenario, I'll play the hero. As you can imagine, I'm like Batman or Nightwing, some sort of martial hero, Kato. And these 2 guys will play goons. But this is not choreographed, so I may lose, because that's the reality of life. All right? So we'll talk about that and we'll break down and talk about the theories that we're using. Whenever you're ready. All right? So, how was that? You want us to turn and do it again? Okay. We'll try again. Sorry. Too close by. Trying to flank me. It's a good tag.
Good tag.
We have no corners here. You all right? You all right? Thanks, guys. So now I'll talk about. Now I'll talk to you about the 3 theories that we were just using, which are again derived from Wing Chun, which we studied. And the first one is center line, right? So we're occupying the center line. The second one is redirect, redirecting the opponent's strike. And then the third one is sensitivity, which is a reaction-based sort of learning that we do. But more importantly, why would a hero use these 3 things, right? I think when you look at origins of heroes, and when you look at, you know, like Batman is a perfect example. He's got this huge tragedy in the beginning. And that's a lot to deal with. And so he's dealing with it in a violent way. He's going to learn how to fight criminals. It's a very dangerous thing to do, right? But he has to learn it in a short time. Because if you were to study one of the other various martial arts out there, people tell you to master it can take 10, 15, 20 years. You're looking at a Batman starting his career at 30 or 35. It's just a little bit too late, right? He's maybe got a 10-year window before he's too beat up to continue. So what I think you would be looking for is a system that would allow him to learn it in about 3 to 5 years. And so to do that, what you do is you focus on a system that employs a theory, not a formula. And the theory is very simple, right? It's just like when you're solving problems. If you learn a theory, then you can apply it to all problems. But if you learn a formula, the formula is only good for one application, one particular set of circumstances. So to give you an example, somebody come up here. A lot of times when you see demos, or you go to other stuff, you see people be like, oh, how do I deal with a jab? Right? And they'll say, oh, move to the side, or move to the side, block, and then you pull this arm down, strike again. That's an if-then. Then there's a different move for if the guy throws a hook. I would do something completely different, right? If he grabs me, I would do something different. I would, maybe do a joint locks, or something like that. You're going to see that sort of thing. What we employ is a theory-based. So it's so simple, I don't have to think about the different situations. So I'll show you how this works against Ryan against those 3 things. Ryan takes me to the center, I take the center line with my hand and hip. I dominate the center. Yep, we'll do that. So if he takes the center, I dominate the center. He goes around, I dominate the center. He goes around, dominate the center. Right? And you see, I'm not particularly worried about this. In a real fight, I would be, because maybe I'm a little bit slower, maybe I stumble as I'm coming forward, maybe whatever. So I would throw him for protection, but you see I can get to him before he gets close enough to hit me. Okay. And then the third one, if he grabs me, any idea what I do? Punch him in the face.
There you go, simple as that. Hands are occupied.
Right? If I do this, grab me, if I do this, what can he do?
Yeah.
Right? So the second he goes to grab me, I have to take the center line. Right? So it's a theory based. I'm not changing what I do at all based upon how the person attacks me. I'm applying a theory rather than a formula. So that's why I think that you would want to learn these. Because there's only so many ways that the human body can move. Yeah, come on in, guys. We're not going to demo for a little bit. There's only so many ways the human body can move. That's why if you study martial arts, you've seen a lot of different things, or maybe today you've seen some other stuff and you're like, oh, that looks a lot like this, or this style that I've seen. You're right. Because there's only so many different ways a person can attack, and there's only so many different ways that you can defend an attack. Right? But we use the theory-based focusing into it. I got a little note card here, so I can talk about it. Yeah, so I think using theory-based is so important because you're dealing with, to summarize, you're dealing with a short learning frame. So Wing Chun was first started to show rebels how common people, like who had day jobs, just like you and I, hopefully had jobs. You probably want to do this, probably have a job. But it was taught that people like us who weren't studying martial arts full time. So it's something they could learn in a short amount of time that worked really well against their attackers. Right? And that again is why you're using theory-based. It also works on multiple attackers. As you saw in the beginning, I used everything that I've just talked about to deal with multiple attackers. And then perhaps the most important thing, the thing I love about this, is if you notice, how did all those encounters start out? What was the first thing that happened? They attacked me. That's the hero, right? That's the hero's, that's the difference, right? Nothing that I did was aggressive, it was reaction. And that's the approach of the hero. I'm not making the first move, but I will hit first. That's the concept. So we like to say, my opponent moves, but I strike first. That's what we're going for there. So we'll do a little bit more. All right, Tim, we're going to start with the center line, so I'm going to pull up Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Right there. We'll talk a little bit about sound. I'll break down each of these three parts. We'll talk about them, and then we'll do some demos on it, some fights, and then we'll move through and do multiple attackers at the end. All right, so when I say center line, I already explained it, but this is literally the line between my opponent and me. And so for me, it comes straight out in my center, right? So approximately this line right here. And I'm going to attempt to control that when Jeremiah attacks. So basically, you can take one or two attacks. That's really all there are. You can come with an online attack, where he's punching at my center in some fashion. Straight? Yeah, great. So that's a boxing jab, perfect center line attack. Or he can come with an offline attack. And that just means that he's leaving the center line first. Let's rotate a little bit. So when Jeremiah attacks me, he's leaving the center. He's coming offline. You see, the center line is still open between us. Does that make sense? Now, the pros and cons of that are the center line it's a point-to-point distance. What's the shortest distance between 2 points? Right. So we would say that if I'm trying to hit Jeremiah and my fist is here, I don't need to do anything than take this in a direct line to him. Does that make sense? So it's a little bit faster. It's a lot faster. If I go offline, the pro is I get a lot of power. Right? I can put my whole hip, my whole body into it. Boxers do that a lot. You get close. It's really damaging if you get hit with it. But they're basically taking all the centrifugal force they can generate and putting it into their hand. So when it comes around, it's like swinging a baseball bat. All that just comes all the way down and catches it if you get hit. The reason that we use center line first, and why we like it, is because why I think a hero would use it, is because it's more direct. I'm not wasting the energy. This takes a lot of energy. This takes very, very little energy. So if I was to throw a hook at Jeremiah and he's got me in the center, he's covering. But he's just taking my center line. But even if he doesn't cover it and just pushes me back when I come in on that, it's enough that I can't get in on it. All right? So that's center line basis. So what's going to happen now is I'll attack Jeremiah for a little bit. He's up for that. And I'm going to throw anything I want. Like I said, these are not like predetermined combos. I haven't got together and said drive cross hook. I'm going to throw literally whatever I want at him and see what he does. And hopefully it'll apply some center line theory. Then we can then talk about it. Ready? So what's happened? We'll do one more. All right? We'll do one more. And then we'll talk a little bit about the differences here too. Okay. So let's slow it down so we can show people what's going on. All right. So I threw a jab, and then I came with a, he's already hitting me, right? So if this is a real punch, I'd already be moving back. But maybe I'm a tough guy. If I'm a ruin, I'm probably a tough guy. So I can take one and go off. So I come in again. See, he controls this one. He catches me in the throat. I don't know that I can stand up to a throat attack. But just to make sure, Jeremiah steps in and he hits me again in the face to drive the point home, right? So, again in slow motion, let's rotate again. It looks like this. And maybe I can get that one up. Jeremiah controls him. All right. So, let's do another one so we can slow it down and show you what happens there. Ready? Got you. Not choreographed, guys, not choreographed. You all right? Ready? Let's rotate. So what's Jeremiah doing here? He's redirecting the punch. And he's not doing what he did the first time that got him in trouble, which was stay on that center line. It's a very powerful kick if I get it off, right? If I get this off, it's hard to deal with. So he changes the center line and comes in on me and attacks. When he does this, he's not blocking. Because if he was to actually block this kick, first of all, it wouldn't look like that. It would look more like this. But if he was to block it, I'd probably break his arm. So then you're out an arm and you hit the guy, right? So he's stepping off line, redirecting the attack, controlling his center line, not mine anymore. Want to try another one? Again, I'll show you from this side. Same attack, let's go slow this time. So I want to talk about what we did that time. So I come here, he stepped to the side, controlled the center line, and controlled me. Now, if I was to throw this roundhouse kick, which again is an offline attack, just a little bit slower. The advantage of this is its center line. I can get it off really fast. But this advantage, I'll get a lot of power, but it's all locked in either my knee or my foot, right? So if I can't hit him with it, if he's too close, changes out my power. But if he was even not even attacking you, push me back. Step in and push me back, you'll see what happens. See, I can't. I'm really going to try this time.
Oh, this time.
Yeah, so. See, I'm not pulling these punches with these guys. I'm going to do a self-defense training. So we don't do that. All right, so the second thing we'll talk about is deflect, redirect. And I think I need a break, so I'll call Aaron and Ryan. See you guys out there. All right, so this is the second principle. There are no blocks. A block slows you down. And that's all you're doing. If I was to attack Aaron, and he was to block, then he's losing time. Because what he's not doing in this moment is attacking me. And that's one of the benefits that we have. That's why we can be so fast. We can be simultaneous attack and defense. So instead of him blocking me somehow, he's also blocking, like redirecting me, and attacking me. The problem with blocking, if I was to throw a hook punch, you can see it illustrated here. If I throw a hook punch and we catch here, which is probably what's going to happen, even if you're on trained fighter, you can throw an arm up. This becomes a strength contest. I'm using my force against Aaron's force. And if I'm stronger, I'll collapse his structure, and if he's stronger, he'll keep me out, right? And that's all it comes down to, which is fine. But if you want to fight that way, just lift a lot of weights. Just be the stronger guy, right? You're most likely not going to get attacked by someone weaker than you. It's very rare that happens, right? And so what we would do with this is something different. We would do a redirection. So although this looks a lot like a block, it's different. Because he's taking me offline. He's not clashing.
Yeah, I'm not.
Right? If you was, do one of those like big blocks. Very different. But if he uses the principle of redirection, he's actually redirecting my punch. He's over here, not where it should be. And at the same time, he's attacking. So that's redirection. Guys, because Aaron's most likely Aaron's smaller than Brian, so Brian would be attacking Aaron in these cases. Yeah. This is my teacher, C2e2, so he can.
Okay, so I'm going to give Rock a break. So these guys are going to do something, and I will describe the Wing Chun principle and theory that's being put into practice. So let's go to redirection. Good. So let's do it again. Okay. So you see what he's doing here is when this thing is coming through the center line, Aaron is not trying to fight it right here. He's stepping to the side and redirecting the impetus, so he doesn't have to fight force against force. And then of course he's attacking directly from this center line to the center line of the opponent, and then follows up with a multiple attacks. You notice the position he's in here now. It's very hard for the opponent to hit him with that hand. Because so that's the redirection. Then another concept that we should use is borrowing it. So you see that this time, once he makes contact with the strike, he's borrowing the energy of it and sending him off to the side. Instead of trying to make force against force, once he meets the force, he borrows it and uses the force back as the opponent. Another way of doing it, so that time he uses a technique to catch the opponent's arm, and then he pulls it, and he pulls and strikes at the same time, so that he can borrow the force and put it back into the opponent. So if he's not a big guy, superhero, he's a superhero. He's not a very big guy. So how does he find the force? Since it's a bigger opponent attacking, where does the force come from? It actually comes from the opponent. So he takes it from the opponent, he puts it together with his, and then the technique becomes stronger and faster. You want to show this too slow? You see, he makes connection with the hand and then goes from there, borrows the energy or reflects the energy away. So this is a big deal if you're a smaller person. The art of Wing Chun was put together with the idea that a smaller person can use the art and you don't need to be big and strong and spend years practicing in order to make it work. So like Rock said, if you're a superhero, you got to consider you don't have the next 20 years to train and get good at the style of Kung Fu. You have 3 to 5 years, you got to learn to do something very simple and something that has principle and theory to tell you what to do and not like technique versus technique. A lot of martial arts are technique-based. That means you learn 250 ways to do this, that, and do all these different techniques. Wing Chun doesn't have that many techniques. They only have about 18 different hand techniques that we have. That's not very many. But the concept and theory that we use allows us to apply them in a limitless fashion against whatever we come up against. So any style or any fight we come up against, the human body can only move a few ways. It can only come straight, or it can only come around. The kick can come straight, or it can come around. Right? It's the same concept. We're always going to apply the same concept. I don't care what style you do. It doesn't matter to me. You know, you throw that front kick, then I get off mine. You throw that round kick, and I just go straight in. So no matter what he does, I apply the same concept here. What's next on the?
So we're going to also show that. We're going to show that you don't have to be ball-headed or male to study this. So that's what, yeah, you usually is time to. So in this one, we'll be like on the other side. So you guys want to back up a little bit. And I'm going to punch at her, and she's going to hopefully stop me. Yeah. So, but this again will illustrate. Jean-Pierre is going to use redirection, hopefully, and obviously I'm larger than her, and I should be punching with more power than her. So she should not be trying to fight me literally on this, right?
I'm not going to win this guy.
And the beautiful thing I think about this is, well, but that's it. Ready? Ready? Okay, so let's slow down and talk about what's happening. I'm not fooling any of these. The reason that she can deal with me is because I'm giving her a lot of energy. I'm really trying to hit her. Yeah, we're doing something. So you see the first one I was throwing like jab cross, right? She's controlling my first one, controlling the second one, and then she hits me before I can get the hook out, right? So let's rotate this way. Jab, cross, jab. She's stopping me before I can get it. And she's catching me in the neck, which is a good place to hit an opponent if you don't want to move again. The second one was I was just coming in with a hook. She's stopping me before I get to it. I'm really targeting her head. If she doesn't do something, I'm going to hit her. And And maybe I'm a tough guy. Yeah, so maybe I drive her suitcase, and she still stopped me. What's happening here, I think, is really cool. She's not bringing her hand back to like some gargantuan punch before me. She's coming in from point A to point B, the most direct line. That's why she can beat this punch. Because we're about the same distance, but I'm going around. Does that make sense? So that's, again, like, Echo could learn it really fast. But you guys could, Echo could learn something to fight really quickly. 3 to 5 years. How long have you been training, Gabrielle?
A little over 2 months.
A little over 2 months. All right. Good. Now we're going to talk about the third precept of this, which is sensitivity, which some people call proprioception, which means like, basically, you know, when you walk into a room, you walk into your bathroom at home, and you, there it is. You walk into the bathroom at home, and you turn on the light. Do you have to think about where the light is?
No.
Yes. Somebody just moved, right? No. Most of us, we can walk in, or in our parents' house, we walk in and we hit the bathroom light without even thinking about it. This is called proprioception. It means you've done this movement so many times and so repetitively, you don't have to think about it. You're essentially shortcutting the steps. I don't have to look, see the light, make the decision to turn it on, move my hand, turn it on, and look at the reaction of it. Proprioception means I think about turning on the light switch, and it's on. So we use this same principle because we have very few techniques of if my hand makes contact with his hand in a certain fashion, then he already knows what to do. Because we've practiced so much time, he knows exactly what this energy feels like. And he can make choices about what to do with it. And if I'm coming here and I'm pressing forward, he knows what to do with it. If I come here and press this way, he knows what to do with it. If I come here and press off the side, he'll do something else. But most importantly, if I don't come in the center, he just takes the center. So when you feel no resistance, you shoot forward. But to illustrate this, we're going to blindfold Dario, because that's appropriate. Jeremiah. And we're going to have Jeremiah attack Ryan. Now make sure you're really blindfolded. You can't see. And he's going to use proprioception to deal with this. Essentially, like, think about when you're in a car driving and something happens in front of you, slam on the brakes. They talk to you about this in the DMV, whether you pay attention or not. It's in the booklet. You have to go through like 5 or 6 steps. You have to realize something's happening. You have to make a decision to react. Generally step on the brake. You have to actually step on the brake. The brakes have to engage, and then you're able to stop the car. Maybe that's in enough time. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. But what we're doing is training ourselves so that I'm right here. Jeremiah's just circling you. So that essentially, if you were in the car in Wing Chun, you would see something happen and the car would stop. You would see something happen, the brakes would engage, the car would stop. That's it. So we're cutting out steps. So again, it's shorter, it's efficiency. And again, for a hero, this works because you're not dealing with just one person, you're doing multiple opponents. So you're like, how many times does Batman go through a night just fighting one person? Or Nightwing, or Robin, or any of them, right? They're going to be fighting multiple people. So if you like go all out on one person, you're done. Like, go home, have a cappuccino with Alfred. But this is a little bit different. All right. I just tried to do it. All right. I didn't move. You guys are not. So we're going to start here. We're going to give him what's called a very, very lucky reason. You don't want it? All right. Just another one. All right. So Jeremiah is going to attack him. We'll see how that goes. There you go.
Damn.
All right, go from 1 point, just so we can see what that's like too. 1 point in contact. Just give me your hand here. All right, slow down and show what you did.
I didn't see what I did.
So I'll illustrate for us. What I did is from this line of attack, I did a straight block. So I cleared this line so I can punch him first. And that's how you hit me. So the same thing.
All right, good. So we developed all of this. All right, so we developed all of this through a practice called C2e2, which sometimes also called C2e2. Just essentially a generation, right? It's all a situation generator. So I have C2e talk a little bit about this.
Okay, so if you were gonna learn some martial art in a short period of time, it'd have to have a very effective training method to give you the sensitivity that you just saw. For us, that's a practice called Chisa. There's many versions of the practice, but it's basically a sensitivity drill that allows us to learn how to use our techniques, how to develop sensitivity in our arms, how to develop speed and reflexes, and it also teaches us how to control our opponent. So you saw that when Jeremiah attacked Ryan before, the first thing Ryan did was get him under control. With his arm here, while he could simultaneously hit him here. So where does the sensitivity come from to be able to get the opponent under control in that speed at that much time? It comes from our Chisa. So the Chisa practice begins